She called 911 8 times. On June 12, 1994, she was found dead. He ran. The whole city watched. The jury said, "Not guilty. This is real Crime Vault."
She kept a box, a safe deposit box, at a bank. Inside, photographs of her injuries, letters describing each incident, dates, details, every phone call she had made, every report she had filed, every incident she had survived, recorded, kept, and a note, written in her own hand, set aside for someone she hoped would never need it. It said, "If something happens to me, OJ did it." She wrote that before the night she died, not after, before. She prepared evidence of her own coming murder, locked it in a box, left it for someone to find. She was right about all of it. Her name was Nicole Brown. She was born in Frankfurt, Germany. She grew up in Southern California. In 1977, at 18, she met O.J. Simpson at a Beverly Hills nightclub. He was 30. He was already famous. O.J. Simpson had been one of the greatest running backs in NFL history. Heisman Trophy winner, Hall of Fame, national commercials. His face was everywhere. They married in 1985. She was 26. He was 37. On New Year's Day, 1989, 4 years into the marriage, police were called to their home in Brentwood. Officers found Nicole outside, in the bushes alongside the house, hiding. She had a cut lip, a swollen eye, a handprint visible around her neck. She told the officer, "I have called before, many times. He always gets to do what he wants." The records confirmed it. 8 documented calls to police before that night. 8 times the system had been told. O.J. Simpson pleaded no contest to spousal battery. He was ordered to do community service. He paid a fine. He did not go to jail. For years later, October 25, 1993, Nicole called 911. She whispered into the phone. In the background, he was screaming. The dispatcher could hear both. The call lasted 4 minutes. It was recorded. It would later be played for a jury. Police arrived. A report was written. He was not arrested. He was not charged. Nothing happened. Nicole filed for divorce in 1992. After 7 years of marriage, the dissolution was finalized that year. She moved to a condominium on South Bundy Drive in Brentwood. She was 33 years old. She was starting over. She had 2 children. Sydney was 8. Justin was 6. They lived with her. Friends described her as warm, funny, fiercely protective of her children, someone who was building something. But he continued to contact her, show up where she was, at restaurants, at her apartment, unannounced. In one documented incident, he entered her home through a window. He told her the house was his. She reported it. Nothing happened. The documentation in the box at the bank kept growing. More incidents, more dates, more entries. She had done everything she was supposed to do. Left, filed reports, kept records, built a separate life. It was not enough. June 12, 1994, a Sunday, warm. Nicole took her children to Sydney's dance recital in the afternoon. Afterward, the family had dinner at Mezzaluna restaurant in Brentwood. Her parents were there. Her children were there. It was ordinary. Her mother left her sunglasses at the restaurant. A small thing. The smallest thing. Ron Goldman was 25 years old. He worked as a waiter at Mezzaluna. He was Nicole's friend. That evening, he found the sunglasses. He called Nicole. He said he would drop them off. She said yes. He arrived at her apartment on Bundy Drive sometime after 10 p.m. He had no reason to expect what was there. O.J. Simpson had also been at Nicole's address earlier that day. For the recital, he had left afterward. He had a flight to Chicago that night, a corporate appearance. He was booked on an 11:45 p.m. departure. At approximately 10:15 p.m., a limousine arrived at his Rockingham estate to take him to the airport. No one answered. The driver waited. Sometime near midnight, a neighbor heard a dog, a large white Akita, wandering the sidewalk alone. Its paws were bloody. The neighbor followed the dog back to 875 South Bundy Drive. He found 2 bodies at the front gate. Nicole Brown Simpson, Ron Goldman. Both had been stabbed multiple times. Police reached O.J. Simpson by phone in Chicago at 6 a.m. He was told Nicole was dead. He flew back immediately. Detectives went to his Rockingham estate to notify him and secure the scene. While waiting at the gate, a detective noticed something on the ground near the guest quarters. A glove, dark, stained. It matched a glove recovered at the Bundy Drive crime scene. Same manufacturer, same size, same type, part of a pair. O.J. Simpson had a cut on his left hand. He was asked how it happened. He gave several explanations over the following days. The explanations were inconsistent. None of them held. Inside his Ford Bronco, investigators found blood. Nicole's, Ron Goldman's, O.J. Simpson's own. At his home, blood drops on the entryway floor. In the bathroom, leading toward the master bedroom, a trail. DNA testing matched blood collected at the murder scene to O.J. Simpson's genetic profile. The prosecution built a case on the blood, the gloves, the timeline, the unaccounted hour, and 8 years of documented violence. The defense had something different. They had 4 words, and they would use them well. But first, the world was going to watch a car. On June 17, 1994, 5 days after the murders, O.J. Simpson was supposed to surrender to police by 11 a.m. He did not appear. His attorney read a letter to the press outside. Some called it a goodbye. Then, a tip. A white Ford Bronco, on the 405 freeway, moving slowly. His friend A.C. Cowlings was driving. Simpson was in the back seat. He had a passport, cash, a disguise, a loaded gun. 95 million Americans watched the broadcast live. The NBA Finals were interrupted for it. They followed for hours. Through Los Angeles, crowds gathered on overpasses to watch the car pass below them. He surrendered at his Rockingham estate at 8 p.m. He was taken into custody. He was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The trial began January 24, 1995. It would last 9 months. It was televised. Every day, America rearranged itself around it. Offices fell silent for key moments. Schools held discussions. Ratings reached levels not seen since the moon landing. The prosecution played Nicole's 911 calls for the jury. All of them, including the 1993 recording. The jury heard him in the background. They presented the blood evidence, the DNA, the gloves, the timeline, the history of documented abuse. All of it. The defense argued the LAPD had mishandled evidence, that chain of custody had been violated, that the blood samples had been contaminated. Detective Mark Furman had testified for the prosecution. The defense then played recordings of him using racial slurs in interviews conducted years before. Furman invoked the Fifth Amendment when asked if he had planted evidence. He declined to answer. Los Angeles in 1995 was 3 years past the Rodney King beating, 3 years past the riots. The jury understood where they were sitting. The prosecution asked Simpson to try on the gloves. In front of the jury, they did not appear to fit. He spread his fingers. He struggled. The jury watched every second. Defense attorney Johnny Cochran addressed the jury in his closing argument. He said 4 words that became the most repeated phrase of the decade. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit. The jury deliberated for less than 4 hours. After 9 months of testimony, after 126 days of trial, less than 4 hours. October 3, 1995, the verdict was read. Not guilty. The reaction split the country. In many black communities, a verdict that finally went the right way. In many white communities, the system had failed. 2 Americas, 1 courtroom. Nicole's mother covered her face in the gallery. Ron Goldman's father stood in silence on the courthouse steps. In October 1996, the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman filed a civil lawsuit for wrongful death. The standard of proof was different, not beyond a reasonable doubt. Preponderance of evidence, more likely than not. In February 1997, the civil jury found O.J. Simpson liable for both deaths. The vote was 9-3. He was ordered to pay $33.5 million in compensatory and punitive damages. O.J. Simpson moved to Florida. Florida law shields a primary residence from debt collection. He purchased a home in a gated community in Miami. He played golf. He gave interviews. He wrote a book. He signed autographs for money. He lived for 29 more years. The Goldman family pursued the civil judgment for nearly 3 decades. Through courts in California, Florida, other states. Enforcement attempt after enforcement attempt. O.J. Simpson died on April 10, 2024. Prostate cancer. He was 76 years old. By the time of his death, the Goldman family had recovered approximately $500,000 of the $33.5 million judgment. The remaining balance, more than $33 million, effectively died with him. The account was closed. After Nicole's death in June 1994, her family was granted access to the safe deposit box she had maintained at a Los Angeles bank. The photographs were inside, the letters, the dates, every incident she had documented, years of records, and the note. If something happens to me, O.J. did it. She had called police 8 times. She had filed the reports. She had kept the documentation. She had left the marriage. She had hired the lawyers. She had built the evidence herself. Sydney and Justin Simpson were 8 and 6 years old when their mother was killed. They grew up in their father's custody. O.J. Simpson was never criminally convicted in connection with the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. That is a legal fact. A civil court found him liable for both deaths. That is also a legal fact. Both facts are true at the same time. Nicole Brown Simpson told everyone what was happening to her. She used every mechanism available. She reported. She documented. She left. She prepared evidence in advance of her own murder. The question this case never stopped asking is not whether O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Brown Simpson. Everyone already has an answer to that. The question is simpler than that. If a woman does everything right, if she calls, reports, documents, leaves, prepares evidence for her own death, and still ends up murdered in front of her own home, who was the system designed to protect?